Hey, hello, and welcome back to my Sir Yaba's RuneScape 3 Ironman. Now, it's almost Halloween, which means the Halloween event has kicked off in the RuneScape world, and I got myself a mushy pumpkin helmet. And this year's event took place at Fort Forinthy, which I didn't know anything about. Turns out that in RuneScape 3, they have replaced the lumber yard outside of Varrock with a new fort that you actually get to make yourself and maintain and build. So in order to start making it, you need to do this new foundations quest, which comes with another really cool painted cutscene that's voiced over. And you return back to the fort and find it basically in shambles and covered in zombies. Whenever I got here, I realized that I was going to be fighting zombies and that I didn't bring anything, but I tried to interact with the bank and grab some food out and some armor with no real luck, so I just decided to run back out of the little cutscene instanced area and gather some armor, gather some food, and then try again. So, despite just unlocking necromancy, I kind of still want to use some of the other combat styles. I know that necromancy is incredibly powerful, almost overtuned, maybe a little bit overpowered, but I still want to try and work on my mage and my melee, especially magic, so that I can use the teleports and the alchemy spells. So I tried to use them, all three of them, in this fight, but I ended up just using necromancy because the skeleton that you can summon, one, looks really cool, but two, he's actually just a lot stronger than me. And even though my accuracy on these zombies is really kind of bad, he was still actually hitting pretty well. So I kind of used and abused him to kind of fight these zombies as I tried to eat food and run away from them at the same time. Ultimately, I didn't want to waste the ectoplasm, so I ended up switching back to magic and finishing them off. Once you finish, you come find Bill, which used to be in charge of the lumberyard, and tell him that you cleared out all the zombies, you're here to help him make the fort, and he brings you over to the workshop. Now here's where the problems begin. So, the problems are that in order to make the workshop, which is the first building, you need wooden frames and wall segment pieces. Well, to make the wooden frames, you need refined planks. And in order to make the refined planks, you need regular planks. Now, in order to make the regular planks, you need logs. Just regular plain old logs, but whenever you take the logs and turn them into planks, it's 1-for-1. But then, in order to take the planks and turn them into refined planks, it takes a few to then upgrade them to refined planks, and then it takes a few refined planks to then turn those into wooden frames. So ultimately, I only needed 8 wooden frames, which means you only need 96 planks total. But somehow, some way, I somehow got the math that I needed over 500 planks. I don't know how I did it. Even looking at the guide that tells me that I only need 96 planks, I somehow counted to 500. My math is horrible. This is why I don't do math, but I decided to start cutting down the trees. The problem with the regular trees is that you only get 1 log per tree, so you have to wait for them to respawn. Now, I did find out that I could make the log box, or the wood box, so that I could carry more in my inventory, and then while I was creating, I clicked on craft the logs, and I noticed that there's these things called incense sticks that are part of the fire making skill. Now, this is not something that is an old skill at all, and so I got very interested and kind of did more research on the RuneScape wiki.
So one of the things that I really like about RuneScape as a game in general is that I was given a task, and that is to make a whole bunch of planks. And what I did was I said, okay, I need planks. what is a fast way to get planks? Well, I can just use this sawmill right here. Well, in order to get the amount of planks that I need refined planks. Well, I have to make 4 planks. Well, each one of those needs a log. And so then I said, okay, well then what can I do to get more logs? It's like, well, gathering 500 something logs, it's going to take a long time. So then I found, just by accident, these incense sticks. And then on looking about the incense sticks, there is one that gives you increased logs from cutting down trees. And so it's one of those things that I really enjoy, on how you find one thing, that leads into another thing, and then that leads into another thing, and then you start learning about a whole bunch of stuff and how they all work together with each other. Something else that I've been really enjoying about RuneScape 3 is how they've kind of added a whole bunch of little things to kind of like bridge the gaps. So they added imp hide. You click on craft, and you have this magic tank armor that also gives you damage reduction. There's like a book and even a shield. Like, it's the little things, but I think it's really cool. I really like it. Okay, so I'm starting to make these, and I'm realizing they're very expensive. To make one of these sticks, you need 2 logs, and then to make one of the actual sticks, you need 2 ashes. And now I'm about to have to go get guams and put guams on here, and I'm sure it's probably going to be 2 of those as well. So while we're gathering the logs, we got to level 20 woodcutting. But then we got to level 300 total level, which is nothing, but it's still pretty cool. So we got willow logs and the steel hatchet, which I think I'm going to go get right now because this is still very painfully slow. All right, so we got the steel hatchet here in Lumbridge, but I was curious. I was going to add it to my tool belt, but then I realized that it upgrades it. And so you can't remove the old one, it just gets destroyed. So we came back to this wilderness event. Who knows what's going on, but I can't kill anything because everything's like level 109. But I did do the mining portion, and I did get a sack of wild rewards. So let's see what we get out of that. So we got 4 obelisk shards and bloodweed seeds, which I think right now are pretty much useless for me, and these just teleport me to the wilderness, which I don't want to do. But we did get 3 mining levels from that, so now we're up to 25. Pretty good. Something that I also just kind of decided on. I was doing the hero pass stuff just kind of, to give me an idea of what to do, because there's so much stuff for me to do that I started to kind of get choice paralysis, where I was like, I don't really know exactly what I want to do. So I started doing archaeology because it's just said, hey, get XP in archaeology, whatever. So I just started digging around, and while I was doing archaeology, I kind of realized that these quests that I have in the top left, it's not showing all of them. And the way that I found that out was I went to the S's because I was like, you know what? I want to go fast. Let's do Secession. But that quest isn't listed on here. So I'm pretty sure that it's only showing quests that I can do. So then it kind of, I had an idea, and that was that I want to basically just go down this list and just start doing all of these quests. and then it will give us more XP to then level up and do even more quests. So maybe that's what we can do, is just slowly start to get XP and levels just from doing quests and exploring the game and getting more familiar with everything, rather than just focusing on, oh, I'm going to do archaeology, I'm just going to do this, I'm just going to do that. I think that might be more enjoyable for me to play. It's probably going to be more enjoyable for you to watch, and we get to cover like a whole lot of the game. Also, one last thing, at the time of recording this, it is almost Halloween, so I haven't really been playing at all, so I don't have very many of the oddments, but I did get to go to one of the pumpkin parties, and I did get this, which I'm not exactly sure what it is. Unlock the following item and costume token, overhead emotes Halloween. Are you sure you want to unlock this? Yes! Yeah, why not? So how do I do that? The emotes... I will figure it out, and we'll check back in. Wow, so using the Wicked Hood, we got all the way from 1 to 5 rune crafting. It's like 500 XP, but that's not bad. So we can't forget about the circus and that free XP, but I just realized I had actually teleported to the air altar. And the air altar's right here. And we're in Varrock. Normally, it's south of Falador. So I think that big thing was that clan something, but now it's here? I'm not exactly sure. I just realized that it shaves my beard for this. Why? So we got up to level 10 ranged doing the throwing stuff, and I see there's an iron two-handed crossbow, and then this move demoralized, but I don't think that's something I can do yet without a quest. So let's go on to the magic. Well, there we go. We got all the way up to 11 magic and unlocked some stuff and the level 1 enchant. And this is something that I actually noticed earlier, is that brooch that you get from the Dwarven multi-tool army axe, you can enchant it, so we're gonna try that out. Came to the wilderness, did an evil tree, and we got to 17 farming. We got 5 levels. We got to 25 woodcutting. We got 3 levels, and then we got 3 fire making levels and got to 22. So tons of free XP. And then we got 3 sacks of wild rewards and 1 sack of very wild rewards. So let's see what we get out of those. We have 3 wild and 1 very wild. Out of the first one, we got 1 seed, 4 more keys, and some red chins. All right, cool. Out of the second one, we got more obelisk shards, some money in this salvage, and then the bloodweed seeds, some brilliant energy, and some infernal ashes, 40 of them. Not sure what that is. And then out of the very wild one, let's see. Wait, what? What? Are you serious? No way. I just got a visage. What? Excuse me? There's no way. Bro, I'm level 20. There's no way. That's... Oh my gosh. That's actually crazy. Holy crap. Alright, Alright, we're finally fighting our first evil tree. And it's just a regular tree. But I've been talking about it forever. And an evil tree is basically just a tree that pops up that kind of sounds like this. And you get to chop down the roots. You use the roots to then burn them down. You basically attack them, and you get bonus stuff at the end once you finish killing them. So it's just a fun little way to cut down trees, but I just remember really enjoying them because it's weird and it's different and it's a lot of fun. Ironically, this also gives me the opportunity to talk about the penguin spies. So here's one in a little pumpkin who's running around and he's trying to hide. And so there is a quest line that basically says that the penguins are evil and they're plotting to take over the world. And it turns out that it's true, but these little spies, you basically track them down and spy on them, and then you go back to that zookeeper that we met a few episodes ago and tell him the location, and then he kind of does whatever. But you get rewarded XP for it. So it's a fun way to get bonus XP while traveling the world and looking for them without actually having to train the skill. So we ended up taking too long on the tree, but that's okay. We got a ton of levels out of it. We got to 32 woodcutting, 24 fire making, and we took too long and it got struck by lightning, and the lightning is kind of like a timer where it just kind of kills it after a while. So, wow, I got 6 logs, an acorn, and 2 mushroom spores, and some money. For the next 6 minutes, any regular oak, willow, maple, yew, or magic or elder logs teleported straight to your bank. Nice. So, this pumpkin, thank you. So, this leprechaun thing's really nice because I've been needing to cut down trees to make into planks to then start building Fort Forinthy, however you say that. And I need something like 500 logs, and I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to get that many, so this is a great way to get these logs. I want to try and finish the fort so that I can teleport to it, so that it's easier for me to do the Halloween event. So that's why I'm like so insistent on trying to finish the fort, because I want to do the Halloween event, because I really want to get one of those dive or surge transmogs. I think they're really cool looking.
So I'm killing some spiders, and I just got this, a charge bow. It says a bow to fire magical arrows with my enemies. So that's pretty cool. All right, I'm back, and this time I have some good food. I just got to the 400 milestone, but I'm busy fighting a bear. Holy cow, we used the entire inventory of food. Oh no, it turned into a wolf! No, I'm out of food! Oh, I thought the bear was the last one. Dang it. Close, but not yet. So, I almost forgot about Anachronia. I need to come up here and look at my materials. Alright, so the next thing that we can upgrade the town hall, because I don't have 40 in any of these skills. So we will come back in a couple of days, I guess, and check it and upgrade it. And even though we're not
we can't do anything on here yet. We're still just going to level it. So I had said I wanted to do some quests, and I was looking at my hero pass, not that one. I was looking at my hero pass, and it was telling me to do some mining, I believe. Yeah, mine ore. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll mine some ore. But I could also get my mining and my smithing up by doing Doric's quest and the Knight's Sword. But I was looking, and I can't find Doric's quest, so I'm gonna have to look that one up and see. Oh, they took it out. I don't know. Let's look. Okay, so I looked it up, and it turns out they did replace Doric's quest. It has been replaced with a quest called What's Mine is Yours. But if you look at my quests, I have them sorted alphabetically, but I have it only showing quests that I can do. Now, What's Mine is Yours requires 5 smithing. I only have 4 smithing. I only need 3 XP. So instead of gaining that 3 XP, we're just going to do the Knight's Sword and just get a ton of XP. Just cause. Why not? I was going to do it anyways. So I wanted to get my mining up. I wanted to do the quest, but then I had to get my smithing up to do the quest, so I did smithing. But in order to get smithing, I needed to do more mining, and you know, it just came full circle. But something that I have noticed is that I unlocked like this energy bar while I was doing Crashed Star, and I noticed whenever it gets down to the end, your character starts acting like they're like really tired. But if you just click again on the same rock, it just resets it. Is that supposed to be like a reward for being anti-AFK? I don't really know. It feels like I'm not supposed to do that, but I am. It's very weird. I don't know what to think of it.
So now, fast forward a couple weeks, I've spent some time playing in the Halloween events, smashing pumpkins, unlocking new things in overhead emotes, and I finally gathered enough logs and limestone to create the workshop. So I then got to build it, which is a very slow process where you have to click on the hotspots and build the pieces just little by little. And I finished building the workshop, which turns out was really cool, and you finally get to see what all of the other players are working on. While I was making this, you also get an outrageous amount of construction XP, but you also get to see that there's the archaeology bench, the invention bench, the furnace, there's anvils, there's just all kinds of hotspot hub stuff for you to do. Now, after I finished making the workshop, by accident, I found out that you can actually trade Bill, and he has planks and limestone bricks and logs for sale for super cheap, which means all that time that I spent gathering was wasted. So I ended up just buying the bricks from him to make the wall segments, and then built the wall around my fort. I think it took maybe about an hour, and after you finish, you gather a bunch of advisors, complete your fort, and name it Fort Forinthy, and that is the start to my brand new fort that I created. Once I finished doing that, I wanted to take a bit of a break and work on my hero pass, and one of my goals was to catch 800 fish. So we got to level 20 fishing, gathering shrimp and anchovies, and then hit a new milestone of 500 total level, which is still not anything, but I'm still super proud. Alright, well, that's where we are going to end episode 5. So we finally managed to build our fort. We got the lodestone, we got all of the walls put up, we got a ton of construction levels. It's now our highest skill by a lot. We got some new gear, we did our Slayer tasks, we got a lot done in this episode, and I'm sorry that it's so much condensed down into one. It's actually a couple of weeks of content that's been smushed down because I am changing the way that I'm recording the episodes, and it's actually making it much easier to edit, which means potentially the episodes will be out faster. So looking towards the future, we're going to continue working on our fort. I also tried to make an Ep.5 book. Turns out I need 10 rune crafting, so I realized I haven't started Runespan yet, so we're going to go ahead and start doing that. We might continue doing Daemonheim floors, we might work on some other skills, and we're going to finally start tackling that quest log that I mentioned earlier in the episode. So thank you so much for liking and subscribing. The support has been incredible. I hope you're enjoying RuneScape as much as I am, and I will see you in the next episode.